This is The Final Straw, a weekly anarchist and anti-authoritarian radio show broadcasting out of occupied Cherokee land in southern Appalachia. We bring you voices and perspectives from projects and struggles all around the world.
Welcome to a Final Straw Radio minisode. It's been a bit since... Oh wait, let me get this reverb. Damn. Okay. It's been a bit since we've done this. But these coming weeks, we've had a lot of extra content to share with our cornbreads in the listening audience. I've just had a chance to speak with an anarchist in Rome about the hunger strike currently engaged by two anarchists, Silvia and Anna. They're both imprisoned by Italian police, actions and repression against anarchist direct actions. More information about their cases can be found by following 325.nostate.org or by keeping up on actforfree.nostate.net and searching their names. It's just a good chance. We'll put some links in the show notes. And make sure and spread this around. Folks are looking to get as much solidarity internationally in support of the hunger striking prisoners and their demand to shut down the torturous prison regime that they're kept in. First off, how would you like to identify yourself for the audience?
Hi, everybody. I'm a comrade from Rome, an anarchist comrade from Rome.
Would you tell listeners a little bit about the two anarchists who are now on hunger strike in Italy, Anna and Silvia?
So, Silvia and Anna are two anarchist comrades from north of Italy. They are in prison for two separate and different operations of the Italian police against anarchists. You should all know that in Italy, once a year, we got a big repression and a big operation against comrades. Not only anarchists, also communists and autonomous, but in particular, anarchists are really in target of police, as you can imagine. Anyway, Anna is in jail for the Operazione Scripta Manent, which is Latin. And it's a police operation against FI. She has to face lots of years of jail so far. We are waiting for another trial. Silvia is in jail for which was like a squad in Turin, which is. And it's also charged of other direct action in support of us and against the borders.
And Silvia and Anna are on hunger strike as they are held still facing trials. How long has their strike lasted and what are they protesting?
So, while I'm speaking, it's day 10 of their hunger strike, which started in the 29th, and they are protesting against their in jail. They are facing a torture regime, which is the 41 bis regime, which is considered from lots of people like a torture regime, because you have like few hours a day outside of the cell, like 23 hours locked up in the cell, and restriction. And though they are not supposed to be in that 41 bis regime. They are supposed to be in AS2, A as to alta sicurezza, which means high security regime, which is also like a pretty bad condition, but not. They say they want to do hunger strike. They started this hunger strike not only for them, but also for all the other women that could eventually, and unlikely being there in jail in their section, and they are protesting also to be transferred in another jail, and for the closure of section here. They were in this jail of L'Aquila, in the center of Italy, actually. Really a really cruel jail, like an high security jail with 90% of the people there locked up in 41 bis regime. Lots of people from mafia, they are facing this regime, like proletarians and poor people, like soldier of this crime gangs organization. But also like comrades. There is another woman, a comrade. She is struggling a lot. She is there for the Red Brigades, for being a part of the new Red Brigades.
These forms of torturous incarceration, 41 bis or BIS and AS2, which they're kept under, though it looks more like 41 BIS in reality. How were they developed? Who are they for? And what do Italians think about them?
So the 41 bis dictated 23 hours a day of isolation. It is allowed to meet other prisoner, maximum 3, only during the daily outdoor hour. This is the only possibility of exchange that prisoners have within the whole day. Nowadays, there are only 2 in L'Aquila jail, so they only meet each other, Silvia and Anna, during lunch. And because of the director of the prison said, okay, you don't eat, you don't see each other. So also this further isolation to condemn their struggle, which is insane. Other stuff, it's like only direct family members are allowed to visit 1 hour per month with windows and cameras and intercoms that forbids any direct contact between visitor and prisoners. No access to alternative detention measure in prison. The use of GOM, which is Gruppi Operativi Mobili, Mobile Operative Units. It's an infamous penitentiary police special unit, sadly known for their beatings and torture inside prison and the massacres carried out in Genova 2001 during the anti-G8 summit. There were lots of torture made by these groups for the jail police. The other stuff is trial is through conference. So the detainee follows the process alone, and so a judge can decide whether to shut down. Everyone is therefore deprived of the possibility to attend the trial in court and to see maybe someone from the trial. There's a censorship restriction in the delivery of mail, prints, and books. They can't they have minimum of book inside, like 3 books. So you can get out of 41 bis only by the collaboration with the persecutor. So it is an apparatus that was made in Italy. It's the evolution of another tool that the Italian state had used to fight against the civil war that was the social uprising of the 70s, the well-known social uprising. It used to be, it has to be like a temporary measure, this regime of 41 bis. But then in 1986 was extended to all the mafiosi, to the people that are in jail for mafia and crime gangs. So nowadays in Italy we have 748 prisoners in these tortures So by the fact that you can get out of 41 bis only by collaborating, so it's nothing about like a real change of mind. It's something like active kind of torture. Lots of Democrats also they protested against 41 bis detention and lots of lawyers So a struggle going on different level against this 41 bis. For our perspective, for an anarchist perspective, in which we for sure we are always fighting against prison in general, it's still an important issue to carry out in our struggle, because it's about almost 800 people facing torture in our jail, and all of the families that are connected to these people, even though they're maybe far from us, from their ideas or stuff like that, maybe people from mafia and stuff like that, but you can imagine that there are poor people in
Lasciati aiutare, vogliamo solo farti per ti insegnano a vivere e ad apprezzare l'esistenza, poi non dovrai decidere il tuo futuro, preparato le scelte, la parte, famiglia, scuola, chiesa e stadio. Mi sento soffocare, non vedo una via d'uscita, l'analisi mi accompagna in ogni via della mia vita, le veglie mi circondano, non riesco a vedere oltre, l'affermazione di me stessa è solo nelle volte.
There were just today, June 6th, some inspiring direct protests in Italy in support of Silvia and Anna. Can you talk about them?
It was an action of solidarity in Turin today, the 6th of June. Lots of comrades went inside the church, the main church of Turin. They interrupted the mass in solidarity with Silvia and Anna, and a very important mass performed by the Archbishop. They went, and after this, they tried to do the same also in Mercato Centrale, in like a mall, cops where they tried to stop comrades, and the anti-riot police came and made comrades, and they were like surrounded by cops. So we are following also. Speaking on the microphones of a radio, I can also say to our listeners that today in Milan, a bunch of comrades, they went inside of a local radio, but a very famous local radio, like FM radio, which is called Radio Popolare. They died, and they occupied the station for a while, and they read a statement in solidarity with Silvia and Anna. So as you can see, lots of things can be done with a bit of like fantasy and imagination. This is only a part of what we can do in solidarity to our comrades in jail. And by the way, I think that every step forward in our struggles, in our daily struggles against police brutality, against border, it's a step forward also in solidarity to Silvia and Anna and to all.
With the moves to the right of the Italian government and spreading of groups like Casa Pound, have you seen the repression of anarchists and autonomists increase, or is it the same repression as just like a legacy of the state, no matter what party's in power?
So nowadays in Italy, it's a crazy, fucked up situation. The government, shifted to the right wing, exactly to the extreme layer, to the far right. But it's complicated. I won't go in detail about this, but groups like Casa Pound and Forza Nova are growing, even though they are also facing a lack of discourse, because Salvini, which is the Minister of Interior, but it's actually powerful as a Prime Minister nowadays, is getting all like the hype. So it's really on news every day, and it's on social. And he's the Minister of Interior, so he controls police, and it's really the Minister of Police. He's always wearing like police uniform, even though it's not a cop. So even his image that he wants to show is not as a politician, but it's like, like a policeman or an active man, stuff like that. So it's bullshit. But anyway, with this repression, that for sure it's not started with this and five-star movement government, but it's, as I said before, we are, as anarchist comrades in Italy, we are used to have repression every year, especially in summer, because they really like to put us in jail in summer. It's not about the shift of the government right now, but still the situation is very crazy. So the union, the trade unions of police are in a sort of way excited to have all this. As we can see nowadays, we have a lack of a strong movement that maybe you can see in France in the Yellow Vest protest. We have a lack of this, but there's still a lot of grudge and hate that is growing on. What it feels like here, it's really at a boiling point. I don't know.
Where do you see the anti-authoritarian movement growing from? What would it take to resist the repression and gain strength to challenge reaction?
Personally, I think we should renew and rethink our presumptions. It's important to be, for me, a part of an anti-authoritarian movement of anarchist tradition, but it's important in my heart. It's not. I think it's important even here. I speak about my city in Rome, in Italy, to be on the street and to be really clear to everyone who is wants to struggle with us and to struggle for their own life. So I live in a popular zone in the outskirts, in the suburbs of Rome, and I feel like young kids and people, they really want to fight against this oppressive state of power, and all over the country you can feel that something is not going on in the right way, even though you don't have critical analysis on everything. So we should start from this. We should start to being on the street, to be very clear, to show everybody that we have an idea and a world to carry out with us, and an idea that we are willing to fight for. I think the anti-authoritarian movement and the anarchist movement should start with the clear statement that we have comrades in jail while we are doing this experiment and trying to renew and rethink. We should never forget our comrades in jail that are struggling. Let me just say this: for us, it's really, for me and for us, for our close comrades, it's really wonderful. It's amazing that we have comrades also in the US. It's something that really warms our heart, and it's really important for us to keep this connection. In Italy there's a long history of anarchism, but we have lots of connection in Europe, in Greece, in France, in Spain, wherever. But in the last year, just a few connection in the US though. So it's really important for us that we have this connection from the other side of the ocean, and that we know that our comrades there are fighting, they are struggling in the North Dakota pipeline struggle, in Black Lives Matter, and against police brutality in the US. So we want to send a message of solidarity also. We know that there is also a struggle in the jail of Atlanta, Georgia, and Chicago. So we want to express also our solidarity to all the comrades struggling in this fight, and all the detained people and their families that are fighting with courage in this struggle.
On behalf of the show, I'd like to offer you all so much solidarity and love, and we hope to keep up on this situation. Thanks for getting in touch with us. Solidarity. And thanks to the comrades that put us in touch with this comrade in Rome.
The show will later be archived at thefinalstrawradio.noblogs.org, and you can email us with questions or suggestions at thefinalstrawradio@riseup.net or thefinalstrawradio@protonmail.com. If you'd like to use any episode for your project or radio show, feel free to do so. Just send us an email to let us know.
Ancora ricordo quel 6 dicembre, ancora una tiglia di 15 anni. Quanti occhi già vecchi e quante orecchie rubate consente. Qua vince chi eccelle, chi eccede, chi è cieco. Non vede la strage ma compra la maglia, io c'ero, sì, io c'ero. Ancora sto in guerra col doppio taglio e le Nike. Vita di merda, meglio di te che la passi online. Dalle mie parti fanno furore selvaggi. Dalle due parti pare che pacchi, solo rumore petardi. E solo da come mi guardi schiamo se tu già i soldi e quanti rinchiusi in cella ci abbronzano di luce al neo. Di notte sirene da fuori si sente soltanto neo. A sti ragazzi date gli soldi per poter fare la guerra ai soldi, per poter vivere forse un giorno senza il bisogno di fare soldi. Ancora ricordo quel 6 dicembre, ancora una tiglia di 15 anni. Quanti occhi già vecchi e quante orecchie rubate consente. Qua vince chi eccelle, chi eccede, chi è cieco. Non vede la strage ma compra la maglia, io c'ero, sì, io c'ero.
Sento il rumore e mi esplode la testa, accanto a mio muso dell'ira funesta. E qui la festa no, parlami niña della tua tempesta. Resta pure queste ore, strade sicure, senza questure e controlli. Le mie compagne ti impalano quando ti accolli. Il peso sui colli, il cuore coi calli. Prova a contarli, i giorni in cui propriano, quelli che spropiano, quelli in cui sfrattano tutti i tuoi bagli. Ti tira tu patulere, con bansub, tecmine fagi. Oggi qual è l'applicazione che annuncia le stragi?
Ancora ricordo quel 6 dicembre, ancora una tiglia di 15 anni. Quanti occhi già vecchi e quante orecchie rubate consente. Qua vince chi eccelle, chi eccede, chi è cieco. Non vede la strage ma compra la maglia, io c'ero, sì, io c'ero.
Ancora ricordo quel 6 dicembre, ancora la tiglia di 15 anni. Quanti occhi già vecchi e quante orecchie rubate consente. Qua vince chi eccelle, chi eccede, chi è cieco. Non vede la strage ma compra la maglia, io c'ero, sì, io c'ero.
In questa hit motori meno fiction, pirateria e macerie come a Mogadiscio.
La tocca pianonata, la sfiora di striscio. Cerchi la Roma Core, vieni a destra e faccio un fischio. Non ti accogli il rischio, definisci le tue priorità a costo dell'impatto.
Sento un odore, si gira di scatto. La puzza ti sbirri come il piscio di gatto.
Kill the Richard, dai, train, sempre seno, Cobra Kai. Sempre a caccia di guai, te li cerchi ma dai. Vivi ogni giorno come fosse l'ultimo giorno, non ti sbaglierai.
Qua la gente sbrocca, tu scegli, come se domani scioglierà se le puscia. Io che da grande avevo fatto l'uscere, adesso quando sono ti ribalto le viscere.